I don't care for introductions. I'm gonna try to look over here. I don't care for introductions. You should just wait and see. You should just wait and find out. I'm learning that your feelings are real, right? To you, but they are not reality. Reality is absolute. Everything about reality is absolute. And when you expand upon that, more or less everything has already happened and is happening and will happen right now. Your gift as a conscious being is more or less to choose what happens right now, not to you, but from you. And from you is your feeling. It's what's real to you. But what's real to you is not reality. So you have to decide that to understand how you feel is to understand what makes you real. But none of that has anything to do with how you participate and exchange with reality. You have to be very specific about how you exchange and communicate with reality because it's absolute. You're the only thing that can change. And the idea that reality is always going to change is absolute. So it's not technically change. The only thing that can change relative to reality is you. The thing that changes the most relative to reality is your emotions. And so once you control your emotions, you can decide, hey, the real things that I'm experiencing are not things that I want to be a part of reality, or they are things that I want to be a part of reality. So it is then that you, as a conduit for change, makes actions, any actions at all. And those actions ripple throughout reality and they don't change reality. They just reveal to you whichever relevant, aligned aspect of reality is equal to your feeling, to your action, to your thought. And you don't have to be any of those things. You don't have to be your feelings. You don't have to be your thoughts. And you really don't have to be your actions. But if you don't understand any of them, then you more or less have forfeited your conscious nature. Consciousness meaning, in this sense, power. You're forfeiting your power by not seeking to understand your capacity to experience reality. Your only ability to change reality, which is not going to change, but like the way that you understand reality, is only going to change based off you trying to change how you understand reality. If you don't like your reality and you understand it, then you need to change what you're seeking to understand about reality. If you don't understand your reality and you don't like it, you don't even have to try to start to understand what you don't like about your reality. All you have to do is determine what you like about yourself and consume yourself with what you like about yourself. And this is not to say to be vain or selfish, but even without saying that, like people will not take the route I'm describing and be vain and selfish to their detriment. So it's like what I'm suggesting to you isn't the same as how you might think being selfish makes you a bad person. Like on this side, we don't even get to call people good or bad people because people are just conduits for choice, and it's choice that makes you relative good or bad to an individual person's feelings. So if you want to get around the people that feel like the way you really want to be is good, then you got to act that way and feel like you're allowed to act that way. And if it's not an outcome or a result or like an immediate now that you're experiencing that you're fond of, like you need to change it. Because reality is not going to change it for you. The most reality can do is just give you an even more hardcore version of the thing that you think that you're trying to arrive at having peace with. It's like some things in reality are not meant for you to make peace with it because it's not meant for you, because you don't feel that way about it. If you've been told to feel that way about it, it's probably just your own distrust in yourself. It's your own distrust in your willingness to feel like the things you feel are okay to feel. And if you don't, not anybody else, if you don't feel okay feeling it, then it's okay for you to feel like you can change it and you should change it, and that no one else's presence or opinion or judgment should stop you from wanting to move that way in your life to arrive at that feeling. This is all nervous system regulation. Because reality is in it of itself a nervous system. So now you're either going to be just like a literal nerve, like when you get pinched, like you're either going to be like that one singular nerve that just gets set off anytime it's stimulated, or you could be a network of nerves. You could be a nervous system that uses all of these things to interpret your experience, your reality, and then make new decisions based off of how you want to see reality projected, inwardly and outwardly. You'll get there when you're supposed to. There's work involved, but you're already doing the work. The work is never not going to be done. It's just whether or not you're working against yourself or for yourself. And if you changes, then the things that you've done for or against previous, past, and present versions of yourself, like that has to change too. So just like, you are the change, and like that you literally are the change you want to see in this world. And a lot of people that you'll think have, like, they didn't get to see the change that they were making. It's like a lot of times is because the change that they ended up making isn't really what they saw. They had already seen another change, and it's like you are just a version of yourself that thinks about what they did in a certain way based off what what you've done, like how much you feel like you can control and interpret and manipulate your own reality. Like most people are stuck in the spell of trying to manipulate other people, like building the skills to manipulate other people for their own survival. Like your existence is the manipulation of your own nervous system. And what people fail to realize is that other people have a choice whether or not they're present in your nervous system. If you make a choice to be present within someone's nervous system, what you do will impact their reality, but not because of what you're doing, just because of who they already are. If you do this carelessly and meaninglessly, you basically get a bunch of confusion, which is what we deal with now, where it's like, I don't ever have to explain myself. I don't ever have to introduce myself or none of that. I just do it because it's like a norm. It's something that helps people understand that, like, I come from where they come from, but it's really not even like something that I am obligated to do. And I just find myself thinking that it's better to not introduce myself. It's better that my actions and my choices regarding my inner and outer world say all there is to say about me. It's always worked. I'm not gonna tell you that it's not always worked. That's the only reason I'm still kicking. It's always worked. It's like it's an absolute, right? About my feelings, like my personal feelings. It's like it may not be absolute for how everyone else feels, but I personally believe that anyone can evolve to any state of being or understanding, like just by bearing true witness to it. Which, in order to bear true witness to anything external, like you have to have a true witnessing of your internal self, and that's where when people get caught up in trying to figure out how to manipulate other people, it's like they're inadvertently, while they're protecting themselves, they're inadvertently blinding themselves to their own patterns and shortcomings where it doesn't pertain to this one limited scope of existence. You can do it forever, but what's not forever is being somebody that's not you truly. You just gotta be able to be who you would be if you were the only ever living human with no knowledge beyond what you can learn from how you're stimulated by the realities that you choose to engage with. The reality, the absolute reality that your many individual, levels of understanding can perceive. So you can learn lessons, but being a being a person that sees the lesson is a choice. It's all choices. Most times, like I see a lesson without knowing anything about the subject, and when I know the lesson, there's no reason to deep dive into the specifics. The nature of specificity is the self. It's already accounted for. So don't do extra work.